Hello guys, what's good? I'll go by the name is Coach Prince, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. So yes, I'll be doing a review to the Chocolate City Freestyle. For already done a reaction to it, a very lovely reaction for you to watch. And if you have not watched it, you can simply click here and watch it. But now this is a follow-up to that reaction, and this is a review looking at the rap after doing the reaction and just analyzing what each rapper brought to the table on the Chocolate City Cypher. So starting off, we saw Blackbones coming in with so much energy with that his new boy, new school swag. Man came in and he was just flowing with a very new school style on the beat. We saw that Blackbones was sometime on the beat, sometime off the beat, but guy came here and he rapped like Blackbones does, and of course. On the usual trend of the Lamb cipher and any cipher with Blackbones, Loose Kaynon, MI, AQ, we'll see that Blackbones always starts first. It starts first because I assume it because it's the new cat. So on this cipher, as usual, it started first, coming in with that new school energy, that new school style, but using a very different cadence from what we know Blackbones for. We could see him really like playing with the beats and just showing that his lyrical dexterity on the beat. Some of his lines were very cliche. We saw him doing a little bit of change of tone, a change of voice at some point, and he was using simple, was using three-syllabic rhyming scheme, the pinnacle, admissible. He used some lines there. Then from there, he tried to squeeze in a little bit of punchline when he said, "You ain't got nothing upstairs. You're like a bungalow."
All my niggas got something upstairs, it's not a bungalow.
Then he went back to his able rhyme scheme too. So yeah, we saw him doing that, and Blackbones, to me, his verse was a good verse, but this was not Blackbones' best performance on this. And from the scene, you could see Emma Abaga and Jesse Jagz sitting there and just listening to this boy speak. And I feel like if you look at that scene, you notice something a lot of people missed out on in this video was the Pepsi show off on the scene, which shows that Chocolate City was in collaboration with Pepsi to actually do this cipher. You see a lot of Pepsi brand bottles and best Pepsi drink being displayed a lot in the cipher video. You know that Pepsi are actually one of the sponsors for this cipher. Following up that, we see AQ coming up in the scene, and AQ's verse was really a good verse. But one thing about AQ is that AQ really his delivery is usually very monotonous. It doesn't switch up flows. His lyrics were really hard. Some of the standout lines AQ used here, it started off very simply. It started off with hip hop is 50, that's golden, I'm still here.
Hip hop is 50, that's golden, I'm still here.
So referencing hip hop at 50 years is golden jubilee, but that's golden, I'm still here. Then also went on to say, young soldier of the Lord, I got YSL stuck in my jeans.
Young soldier of the Lord, the YSL is on my stock jeans.
So YSL is a fashion brand, and also YSL, also young soldier of the Lord means YSL. So that was one of a very creative line from AQ, which he later follows up with a line referencing Gunna and Young Thug in the Rico case. Of course, we all know that Young Thug's record label is also YSL, which is Young Slime Life.
Truly humble under God, this young thug is going to judge him. Turn a gunner in your crew to a gunner, like the sports scene.
So that was also like a triple entendre using the YSL reference, talking about Young Soldier of the Lord, YSL stuck in my jeans, then following up with the Gunna and the Young Thug line, which is also a reference to YSL, which is Young Slime Life. That is a Gunna and Young Thug's record label, and you understand the case going on in their crime case going on. So that was a very good reference from AQ. He also followed up with a lot of bars talking about
Looking up to me, hands open like Jude Bellingham.
Then also he talked about the elements, the periodic table. That chemistry line there was really hard from AQ. We know that AQ is one of those guys that is really hard on his lines, coming there with very strong lines, and a lot of the lines will go over your head if you are not in tune with the current situation of things, because his lines are quite complex and intricate. But the thing that AQ lacks most of the time is that most of his verses are too serious. There are no lyrical dexterity. There's no flexing on the beat and an exploration of new cadence or new delivery style. He is just most of the time just going with that one monotonous rhyme pattern, the rap pattern from beginning to end. But that's AQ for you. The same goes for Loose, but Loose verse on this one was really, really interesting. He also came with that monotonous delivery, but his bars stood out more. Started off when he talked about rare sightings like Bigfoot. Here's another one. Stand alone, cool like an island. I don't bother none. That was a very, very good line because first of all, we all know the story of the Bigfoot, the Yeti, the giant Yeti that's in the history books of a giant human-like creature. It's a mythical creature, but it's very rare, and historical findings have seen a giant foot, which they call the Bigfoot. But also, that line of where it says "stand alone, cool like an island, I don't bother none" was also a very good line because that was also referencing the borders. Islands basically they don't share borders with any other place or any other area because it's an island, it's surrounded by water. But I don't bother none, bother as in bother, but bother as in bother. So that was also a very good line. Then he also used some lines there that they're kind of like recycled, but the way he used them, for the first one, referencing Geppetto, that one also reminded me of MI's 6 foot 7 foot because MI has used something like that. That's pulling up the strings. I pull the strings. Like Geppetto. I think he said his own in a different way, but also still referenced the whole string Geppetto line.
Take these rappers apart like I'm playing Geppetto. Sin pulling the strings, I'm Geppetto.
Geppetto is actually the name of the person that created Pinocchio, and of course Pinocchio was a puppet of which was moving with strings before it became a life boy. So that was also a recycled bar, but he said it very well. Then also going to the other one of which is a very recycled bar, talking about heavy is the head that wears the crown, my neck hurts. He didn't put that wears the crown. He said heavy is the head, my neck hurts. But that's a recycled line, and everybody's like, okay, this line is kind of being overused. But those verses were really, really good. I liked the presentation of his flow. I like his delivery, and I like the way he actually worded his rhymes. It was really, really superb. And to me, yeah, AQ came here and he stood out for me in this one. It's basically among the top 3 best people of this particular cipher. Then we'll now follow up with the next guy, which is Ice Prince. To be honest, I expected so much from Ice Prince, considering the fact that we have not seen him in the scene for a long time, and he has been low on the scene. So him coming out with this one, and this is actually a big. We know that the ciphers are usually very, very big. It gets a lot of audience, and a lot of eyes will be on the cipher because of the people there, and because it's not easy. Of course, the Chalk Boys. This is the first time I've seen our Chalk Boys won in a song after like 4-5 years ago. So it's something that people are really looking forward to seeing. And to be honest, it really kind of like puts us down. He put us down with his verse because first of all, his verse was really, really short, and second of all, the way he started it. This thing I was in JSS1. To me that wasn't a good start. Then he now talked about right from my mother's room, like G Electron. But there was a part of his verse that I liked. I like the part where he talked about sticking with the sharks. I don't know sardines, so something like I stick with the shark. I don't taste sardines. Something about sharks and sardines. About him not. It can't relate to sardine basically. That line was interesting, and it was also a very good line to me. And the reason why that line stood out because of course, when you're hanging out with the big guys, you don't think about the small fishes. Sardine is basically made of Titus fish most of the time, which is a small fish, but the sharks are the big fish, the big boys. So that was a good line to me. But aside that line, there was nothing too spectacular about Ice Prince bars. His flow, there was no switch up. His flow was just on that same delivery style from beginning to end. And I really like how from Ice Prince it led up to Jagz and MI. I like the fact that Jagz and MI were the ones that went last on this cipher. And to be honest, two of them